If you haven't been hiding in a cave for your entire life, you probably have noticed the rise in teen fiction that's coming up. Many of you may be aspiring to become a teen fiction writer, so here are some tips to help you become a successful one. First, pick something completely original to write about. Supernatural is always the best way to go. Things like vampires, werewolves, and wizards are completely not overdone and would guarantee you a bestseller. Maybe even try some futuristic arena fighting to the death with your children. You know, all things that are very relatable to regular teenage life. 2. Develop a protagonist. It can be a boy or a girl, whichever you prefer. Give the protagonist something unique about them that makes the rest of society feel completely worthless and ordinary. Things like discovering they have magic powers, or maybe their boyfriend's a vampire and their best friend is a werewolf. Possibly they have impeccable survival and archery skills. Maybe even a part god, part human. Giving your protagonist distinctive physical features helps you out too. Things like coincidentally shaped scars and really ugly glasses. Maybe consistent hairstyles like braids. Or my favorite, making your character really average looking and having every single boy in the school like her more than every other girl. Step 3. Throw in a love story, preferably one involving a close, long-time best friend who is smoking hot and a new, mysterious, and equally caliente new man who compromises the friendship. Don't forget to complicate the relationship a little more by making the protagonist completely shady and unable to decide which one she likes more. Kissing both parties adds to the drama and screws with the reader's mind as well. Remember, love triangles are the key to fame, especially if your goal is to have a thriving fandom evolve from your story, where emotionally unstable and relationship-desperate girls pick teams and draw really creepy and sometimes disturbing pictures of your characters. Of course, this method works the best with a female protagonist. But if you're looking to be internationally famous among males and females, pick a story that's a little bit less hateable. 4. Add a bad guy somewhere in there. There's gotta be some point to the story after all. Threatening the protagonist's life just makes him that much more likable, and that much more BA. To create the perfect villain, the best thing you can do is give them a deficiency of regular facial features, possibly taking away a nose. That might be creepy enough. Also, make your villain really disturbing or creepy. Maybe he smells like roses and blood. Maybe he's just sadistic and wants to kill everyone. Usually a villain does everything that you do not want them to do, and they're plain annoying as Step 5. Kill off really lovable and extremely important characters. Usually this happens to the old wise master who's been teaching the protagonist how to do everything, and then he leaves the poor chump to figure out how to save the world by himself. This is also very effective with the murdering of a previously discovered good guy who has only been secretly keeping the protagonist alive to preserve his love for the protagonist's mother. You can even kill off the adorable little 12-year-old who's the protagonist's only sunshine of hope. Although, these are all very vague examples. If you went with the emotionally taxing and reader-frustrating plotline, then the best way to end your story is by making the protagonist end up with a by far more interesting and way more sensitive boyfriend. After all, her BFF was way too much like a brother to fall in love with. If a murderous evil villain was your plotline of choice, kill the son of a gun. Hopefully doing this in the most satisfactory, vengeful way, and possibly with a great tagline right before your protagonist gives that villain one final slap in the face. Now would also be a really fantastic time to throw in a slowly developing relationship between the protagonist and an unexpected character, possibly like his best friend's sister. 7. Somehow extend your story into 3 or more books. If you try and squeeze it all into one, people are gonna forget your book right away. Making it a series will permanently imprint your story into the reader's minds, the goal being to turn all of them into mindless fiction-reading zombies who can relate any aspect of your story to real life. The most effective way to create a series is to end each book at the most stupid and annoying point possible. Cliffhangers don't just make your readers hate you as an author, but it also forces them to read the next book to satiate their undesirable obsession for them. You clever little... Now that you know these steps, you can get writing on your cliche and bound-to-be famous fiction novel. May the odds be ever in your favor.